Hello, and welcome to A Sunny Book Nook. My name is Sunny, and today I am asking you guys to tell me whether I should DNF these books or if I should continue reading them and pushing through with finishing these books. Because all of the books that I'm going to be talking about today are books that I've started, but have yet to finish for one reason or the other. And a lot of these books I started a long time ago, like at least 6 months ago, and just have not picked up again. And I'm the kind of reader who either finishes a book in 2 days or like a week, or will take a month to 6 months to like a year to finish it. It's gonna take a short, expedited amount of time or like a long, drawn out period, you know? And I feel like books that I really enjoy oftentimes are the ones that I obviously read really quickly and want to finish. But then there are some books that I enjoy and sort of read more slowly. So, there's that. I think that makes it so that some of these books could have potential if I did push through and finish them, but I just haven't really felt the desire to pick them up again. So this is me asking you whether you think I should. And, I think one of the other incentives for me to read these would also be to give you guys a review. So if any of you guys want to hear a review of any of these books, if I finish them, that would present me an incentive to finish them. So the first book I want to talk about is Space Opera by Catherynne Valente. And I also DNF'd her book, or I have two shelves on Goodreads. There's Did Not Finish and then Will Finish This Later. Both of those shelves have like over 100 books on them, which kind of shows you what type of reader I am. But this book, I'm like 100 pages into, like a third of the way into it. And it's basically about these like space aliens are hosting a universe-wide talent competition. And in order for, I think, like Earth to not get obliterated and blasted out of existence, they need to compete and like win or some shit like that. And so they end up the space aliens recruit this defunct pop star band to like go off to space and compete in this space opera. So I don't know, it's kind of funky and weird. I think Valente's books always are. I think the other book that I did not finish that I read from Valente was the red is dead, the past is red, or some shit like that, which was a dystopian novel, climate apocalypse, set in the future type, like Wall-E wasteland story. And that also had a similar tone of like, irreverent and humorous and whatnot. But I don't know, I think I just haven't picked this up again because I started this on the plane a couple years ago, and I guess I just never kept going with it. I don't know. I enjoy a jokey, more lighthearted read that plays with humor as an element of the science fiction storytelling, but I don't know whether I should push through. But let me know if you think I should. The next book that I've started, and I don't know whether I should finish, is Everyone Knows Your Mother is a Witch by Rivka Galchen. This book I am like a fifth of the way through, and I don't know, I'm just not that interested. I love medieval stories, and this is a medieval story because it's basically told as a series of like transcripts in which this illiterate woman is being accused of witchcraft in this village, and all these different people in the village are being interviewed and being asked questions about her and whether they think she's a witch or not, and like all their interactions with her as she's being brought to trial. And in some ways it's like humorous because of that, because of the different anecdotes that they bring up, but in other ways it's obviously very like sad because it's this old woman who has to defend her honor. But I'm just like losing interest, I guess, and it's pretty early on in the novel, and I don't know whether I should finish this because I think some people that I know on BookTube have read this and enjoyed it, but I'm not sure, I also feel like because I was listening to the audiobook of this, I was reading space opera physically, and, I feel like, I don't know whether the audiobook of this would help me finish this, but I'm listening to the audiobook of this, and Maybe I should read this physically and that will help, but I don't know. It might just be worth giving up and DNFing if I'm already not interested in it a fifth of the way through, and just like save my time and use my time wisely in applying it to books that I have interest in, because that's the difficulty with asking whether I should DNF a book or not, is like, well, is it worth trying to push through with the potential that I would enjoy it and with the ability to review it in its full context, or is it something that, like, I should just, you only live once, you should just spend your time reading the books that you want to read and not reading the books you don't want to read. It's just, and I also, in my wrap-ups and stuff, I don't mention the books that I DNF, mostly because I oftentimes don't have a distinction between books that I don't finish versus books that I think I will finish at some point later. It's sort of an on-the-dot decision that I make to assign that book that I've started reading on Goodreads to the did not finish or will finish later pile/shelf. So, anyways, let me know whether you think I should finish this book or not. And the next book that I started on audio but haven't finished yet, and I'm only like a fifth of the way through, if that, is A Foul is Fair by Hannah Capen. I think I hauled this book years ago on this channel, and it's a Shakespeare retelling, and it's a young adult contemporary teen feminist revenge story about this girl and her friends killing these boys who raped her at a party. And I think the writing so far is just what's not having me click with this novel. It's just kind of like corny and overwrought in a way that is particular to contemporary young adult novels in some ways. I feel like when they try to be kind of like rah-rah or purple prosy in some ways. I don't know. Like, oh, and it has like this witchy thing, right? On page 58. My coven disappears as spirit smooth as they came in, melting into the shadows while Max stares up at me, while I take each step down the bleachers with the kind of watch me walk he couldn't look away from, even if he wanted to, while he puts one hand up to shade his eyes, even though I'm the one looking straight into the sun. I just don't fuck with that writing, you know what I mean? Let me know if you think I should finish this, but I just don't think I'll like it. So I think even if I do finish it, it'll be like a 2-star read, unfortunately. The next book that I have here, I'm sad about because it was highly anticipated due to the fact that I really liked this author's other book, and that is Real Easy by Marie Rutkusky. I really enjoy her book, The Midnight Lie. In fact, it was a young adult fantasy novel, and I did a review of it, an analysis that I will link in the cards. But this book is a thriller that follows this woman who works at a strip club, I believe. And it's just, I think I listened to the first like 10% of the audiobook and it just didn't really grip me. I started it like more than a year ago, I'm pretty sure. So I don't really know why, but I honestly don't even remember what the exact plot is. So the synopsis says, it's 1999 and Samantha has danced for years at the Lovely Lady strip club. She's not used to mixing work and friendship. After all, between her jealous boyfriend and his young daughter, she has enough on her plate. But the newest dancer is so clueless that Samantha feels compelled to help her learn the hustle and drama of the club, how to sweet talk the boss, fit in with the other women, and make good money. One night, when the new girl needs a ride home, Samantha agrees to drive, a simple decision that turns deadly. Georgia, another dancer drawn into the ensuing murder and missing person investigation, gathers information for Holly, a grieving detective determined to solve the case. Georgia just wants to help, but her involvement makes her a target. As Holly and Georgia round up their suspects, the story's point of view shifts between dancers, detectives, children, club patrons, and the killer. So, I don't know. I think maybe the shifting perspective thing might be throwing me off, but I feel like it is a book that I would enjoy, so maybe I should just push through. But I don't know. I feel like thrillers sometimes, if they have a horror or gruesome element, I can really just sit through and like read cover to cover in the dead of night and just, plow through. So maybe I should just do that. But, if I didn't get gripped the first time around, then maybe it should just be a DNF. So, my stomach is rumbling. Let me know whether you think I should finish this or not. The next book that I started and haven't finished is another book that I started on audiobook a while back, and that is Hot Stew by Fiona Mosley. I actually started a reading vlog like years ago about literary fiction that involves like women and food and eating, and it's like been sitting in my video files to be edited for forever, and this is the last book in it, and I haven't finished reading this book, which is why the reading vlog hasn't like gone up or seen the light of day. And because it's so old and it's a book that I read so long ago, I think I would only go up on like Patreon or anything or something. Like it wouldn't go up on my main channel anyways. Or I could just put it up and be like, I DNF this book, you know? Anyways, this book I think is about food. I mean, it's called Hot Stew, but I think it's set in London, and it follows these different perspectives of these people who live on the street and people getting kicked out of their tenants and this restaurant. And I don't know, I think like it follows so many different perspectives, and I feel like that might be a type of book, that type of novel, if it isn't done in a particular specific type of way, it might not be something that I'm really into. But I also feel like this is the type of literary fiction that I could enjoy, and I might just have to push through it. I feel like there was discomfort and dread in it that I didn't really click with and didn't really enjoy when I was, 15-20% of the way through listening to the audiobook of this. But let me know if you think I should finish this. I love the cover. I don't know. I'm the kind of person who picks up books because of the cover, so. And finally, the last book that I'm considering DNFing is Gold Diggers by Sanjina Sathian. This book is magical realism, historical fiction, family drama, all mixed in one. And I'm only like 16 pages into this, but I don't know. I just don't think I will vibe with it. The synopsis just really intrigued me, which is why I picked it up, but based off of what I've gotten through it so far, I don't know whether I'm fucking with the tone of this novel. It says, spanning 2 continents, 2 coasts, and 4 epochs, Gold Diggers expertly balances social satire and magical realism in a classic striver story that skewers the model minority narrative, asking what a community must do to achieve the American dream. In razor-sharp and deeply funny prose, Sanjina Sathian perfectly captures what it is to grow up as a member of a family of a diaspora of the American meritocracy. A floundering second-generation teenager grows up in the Bush-era Atlanta suburbs. Neil Narayan is authentic, witty, and smart. He just doesn't share the same drive as everyone around him. His perfect older sister is heading to Duke. His parents' expectations for him are just as high. He tries to want this version of success, but mostly Neil just wants his neighbor across the cul-de-sac, Anita Dial. But Ania has a secret. She and her mother, Anjali, have been brewing an ancient alchemical potion from stolen gold that harnesses the ambition of the jewelry's original owner. Anjali's own mother in Bombay didn't waste the precious potion on her daughter, favoring her sons instead. Anita, on the other hand, just needs a little boost to get into Harvard, but when Neil, who needs a whole lot more, joins in the plot, events spiral into a tragedy that rips their community apart. So, pretty intriguing, but like based off of what I've read so far, I'm just like, I don't know whether I want to read about this teenage boy who like really wants this teenage girl, and then like that leads to bullshit happening. And Celeste Ng blurbed it. I also feel like social satire is something that is really hit or miss for me. A lot of times I feel like that's something that I will pick up in DNF or just lose interest in after a bit. So, I don't know. I just feel like this could be something that is worth reading, but I don't know whether it's worth my time, and that's really the crux of the issue with all of these books. But anyways, those are all the books on my physical TBR that I've started and know that I'm unsure of whether I should continue reading or not. So let me know in the comments whether you think I should and why, if you've read any of these and think they're worth me continuing reading, or if you want me to give a review on any of them and thus that's why you think I should finish them, then just let me know, because that will give me incentive to not DNF it. But that's all I have for you today, and thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in my next one, hopefully. Bye-bye!